Hello everybody and welcome to Monday's edition of the Chris Pritchard Cycling News Show. Loads of news coming up over the next 10 plus minutes. Starting with this breaking news. If you live on mainland Europe, be prepared for the arrival of some quality Grade A Colombian product. I am of course talking about Egan Bernal, Nairo Quintana, maybe not Grade A then, and Rigoberto Urán, who are among around 100 athletes who made their way from Colombia over to mainland Europe to start their sporting seasons. Thanks to the Colombian government, they gave these athletes special dispensation to make their way over to mainland Europe so they could start their sporting season. And obviously, including in that are some of the top professional cyclists from Colombia. I'm just so excited. The season cannot start quick enough. Next up in the news, and over the weekend we saw the last two stages of the virtual Tour de France take place. We'll go through the results and who won overall on GC and the various different jerseys in a second. But first up, two bits of controversy I want to throw your way. First up, over on Zwift Riders, a guy called Doug Small posted this, saying that did anybody else notice that Rowan Dennis's height was set to 3'11", which is 120 centimeters. I checked on my companion on it, and yeah, it's true. He's 120 centimeters. So now, listen, he's got no reason to cheat. The guy is an individual road time trial champion. So he knows how to ride a bike. He's one of the best bike riders in the world, especially when it comes to something like Zwift, because a lot of it's down to power, right? So I don't think he's changed it on purpose. I can't help thinking that potentially he might have left it at the default. I'm sure the default is 120 centimeters, and potentially he didn't know that there was a difference in height. Maybe he wanted to keep it private, so he left it as it was, not realizing that. Listen, I'm just trying to, I don't think there's anything in it. And the fact that the guy was on the show makes me not want to call him out for it, because I honestly don't believe that there's anything sketchy going on. But it does make you think his results on the Team Ineos races may have been a little bit elevated. He probably still would have won, but you can't help thinking that he's had a little bit of an advantage there. But it makes you think, the professional riders, right? Do they know about Zwift, and what do they know about Zwift? Do they know that the height makes a difference? Do they know that weight makes a difference? I reckon most of them will know that one. But do they know wheels make a difference? Frame make a difference? Sitting in the blob makes a difference? Do you think they know all that? Or do you think they just go in blind thinking, I'll just smash the pedals, this is rubbish? I don't know. But I'll tell you one thing, right? Chris Froome doesn't even need power supply to his kicker to ride the virtual Tour de France. Check this out. Come on. What's going on there? Can someone tell me? Have we just seen... Right, one or two things are happening there. Either he's testing a brand new kicker that doesn't require a power supply that I don't know about. Or two, someone else is riding for him and they just said, jump on, Chris. Just pedal away. And there's someone in the background actually riding for him. I don't know. What the heck's going on there? Because that was live. That was live during the race. And obviously his avatar was there. And don't forget, ages ago, we spoke about Reece Howells saying that he thought that Chris Froome was not even in those Team Ineos races. Conspiracy? Bit weird though, innit? Bit weird. So either we've just found an exclusive of a brand new turbo trainer coming out this year that has no power supply, or Chris Froome doesn't realise you need to plug in a kicker to get your avatar working and someone was controlling it for him. Either way, exclusive. So stage 5 of the virtual Tour de France was the Queen stage, heading up Mont Ventoux over on Zwift. And in the women's race, I did call this, Ashley Moolman-Pasio took victory. She escaped up the road with Sarah Gigante, who she eventually dropped on her way to securing a 23-second lead victory over, not that time means anything here, but you can see from second to fourth was a Team Tibco Silicon Valley Bank lockout, giving them an unassailable lead. Is that the right word? I think so. Heading into stage 6, an amazing performance by that team, and clearly you can see that these ladies know how to ride on Zwift. And over in the men's race, it was Michael Woods who took the victory up on Mont Ventoux, closely followed by Domenico Pozzovivo, and Louis Michels took third. Look at that, NTT, second, third, fourth, and seventh, showing their skills when it comes to indoor cycling. And in stage 6, it was Trek Segafredo's Will Clark that sprinted to victory on the Champs-Élysées ahead of Filippo Ganna and Ryan Gibbons from NTT in third place. And again, you can see in that top 10 for cyclists from NTT, meaning that Team NTT Pro Cycling took every single classification. Young Riders classification, Mountains classification, Points classification, and General classification. And over in the women's race on the Champs-Élysées, it was Lauren Stevens from Tibco Silicon Valley Bank who took the victory ahead of April Tacey. So coming into the general classification, obviously it was Team Tibco Silicon Valley Bank, 499 points ahead of 2020. Third place was Drops. And then in that points classification, Team Tibco Silicon Valley Bank. And in that mountains classification, Team Tibco Silicon Valley Bank. Drops were close and they put in a massive effort to try and secure that mountains classification, but to no avail. So there you have it. The first ever virtual Tour de France is now in the books. I'm going to leave the last word with you now. What did you think to it? Did you enjoy it overall? Was it a good concept? Was it a good idea? Was it executed well? Was it entertaining? Because that's the top and bottom of it. Did it entertain us? Did it grab us? Are we going to come back for more? How would you adjust things in there to make it a little more appealing to either old school cyclists or people that are just getting into cycling for the first time? It's definitely got legs. It's definitely here to stay, but it definitely needs some improvement. Overall, in my opinion, a fairly decent start. Let me know down below. Beige. And then finally in the news today, let's talk about this story here over on Cycling Weekly. The headline reads, TV presenter Susanna Constantine apologises after saying she wants to drive into cyclists and kill the lot of them. So over on her poorly produced podcast, she was talking to Sarah Parish and they got into the conversation about Dr. Parish doing a charity ride after Susanna had said, listen, well, she said this.
So Sarah, if you ever do another sponsored walk or run or anything like that, any physical challenge, I am there. I would love to come and join you and help you raise money.
You'll wish you never said that, because in 2022, we're doing a pig-to-pig cycle. You know the pigs?
Oh, I hate cycling. I won't cycle.
Oh, come on.
Let me think about it.
It's not.
And then at that moment, as you can see there on the clip, it's been miraculously edited out. Surprise. Because she would have got burnt for that. In fact, she did get burnt. And thankfully, over on Cycling Weekly, they actually found out what she said. And take it away, Susanna. Tell us what you said, you dick. Oh, I hate cycling. I won't cycle. No, I fucking hate cyclists. My husband is a cyclist, and if I see him on the road on his bicycle, I'm gonna run him over. That clearly is clearly just a joke, because it's aimed at her husband, and she clearly loves her husband, but the point she's making is blooming in lycra. And so, yeah, all right, fair point. But then she carries on to say, on the day when I'm about to die, I'm gonna get in my car age 90. So what's that, in about 3 years? I'm going to drive into cyclists wearing lycra, kill the lot of them, and go and die in jail. They're irritating and arrogant because they won't go single file. So, let me get this straight. Right? Because cyclists ride two abreast, you're just going to run them over. You're going to kill them. You're going to have to get a police officer to pop round to somebody's house and say, oh, sorry, your husband's dead because can hear off at TV. Got a little bit annoyed because you had to wait an extra 30 seconds. I don't get why cyclists are such an easy target. Like, I think it's because people think they dress funny. They don't understand it, and I think they think because you cycle and you're fit and healthy, which not every cyclist is, that we think we're better than everybody else. I mean, I'm better than her because I won't go around saying I'm going to kill people just because they annoy me. She's a dick. She's a dick, but I wouldn't go and say, hey, I bloody knocked thee over. Do you know what I mean? What? These people who have got these platforms to be able to say literally anything they want and people will listen and respond to it, decide to say like that. It's stupid. Regardless of whether it's a joke or it's not, don't say it. Because one of those listeners, an irate woman, listen, I just presume that that's her demographic on this because it's all about fashion and stuff, right? Women's fashion. So it's probably a woman that's listening to it. who's having a bad day. And then she listens to this and she goes, whoa, bloody hell, I've got it in for cyclists, subconsciously or not. Then she's out on the road and she sees a cyclist and she's like, I'm going to vent some anger. Bosh. Maybe by accident, but still. She didn't take the precautions needed. She would have done had she been in a better frame of mind. If this old lass had said, bloody love cyclists, me, give them all the time they need, because that's someone's dad, or that's someone's son, or that's someone's daughter. So just relax. You'll get round them. Just calm down. There's no need for it. But no. Anyway, leave me your comments down below and let me know what you think to people spouting that kind of nonsense when it comes to cyclists. Thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you've enjoyed the show today. If you have, make sure you leave a like. If you've not enjoyed it for whatever reason, Susanna Constantine, hit that dislike button. It's right next to that like button. Leave your comments down below. Hit that notification bell. Hit that subscription button, and I'll see you there on the next one. Boosh.